All right, let's get right into it here. I'm recording this intraday. Market should be open for another 2 hours and 40 minutes here, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. This market is unstoppable. I've never seen a buying pressure like this in my entire trading career, and that's since 2008. There was never been a case where my daily micro-term moving average has never been fully breached to the downside in 4 months. We've been in this micro-term bullish pressure uptrend straight since the November 1st. Can you imagine November, December, January, and we're getting into last week here, little over a week here of trading sessions left, and we're making new all-time highs, as you can see right here. Just think about that number, 507. Just a couple years ago, during COVID 2020, we're looking at somewhere around 200 on Spider. Okay, now it's 500. We're looking at just last year 300 something on Spider. We're now printing 507. Did anyone envision this just several years ago that you're ever going to see this number 500 on Spider, right? I mean, just several months ago, man. Just October, just remember last year October, the sentiment, what people are talking about, you guys remember? And just quickly, how quickly things have changed. We're up 2% on Spider. And NASDAQ 100 is up 3%. And we're not talking about stocks here. We're talking about entire sectors here. S&P is up 2%, NASDAQ is up 3%, semiconductor is up 7%. And you have to understand that this kind of number, this kind of gap up, right? You see this gap up right here? This sort of sizable, gigantic gap up, you usually do not see after 3-4 months of prolonged uptrend, right? These kind of numbers you usually see, when the market is bottoming out after a steep correction, and when it sees a huge reversal. This is kind of the number that you do not see traditionally, conventionally speaking, after a prolonged uptrend. Because as the market gets extended and it starts to get to the overbought sentiment, and granted, this market has been overbought. This market has been overbought for over 2 months. This market has been, people have been talking about bad breath over a month. Right? This market has been quote unquote extended. And people have been talking about high valuation. I remember this since 2016. So don't tell me about fair valuation for the stock market, because I've heard things when Spider was at 180 during 2016 lows. It's 500. 500 on Spider. I can't believe it. 500. I just can't believe how quickly we got here. And this market is unstoppable.
Perfect.
I got some fibs extension there for those fib nerds out there, including myself. Just measuring, you see that low right here? We're looking at Spider 65-minute chart from this low and this peak. And you can see it respected the last level of my fib here, which is coinciding with my midterm, which I talked about that midterm on the last analysis. Was it Monday? Yes, it was Monday. See that my midterm and midterm, right? So that's why, you know, when you see some of these levels, when they're getting, especially in this market is so bullish. We you know, we haven't seen any sort of like, you know, we'll see like a 1-day downturn, and then we have not seen like a follow through. Like we'll like literally see like 1 day, and then the market will just get right back. I mean, we'll grind. And so that's what happened this week. On Monday, gap down, and then it's been grinding for 2 days, and boom.
Perfect.
So if I measure from this low right here, January 31st, then you can see my extensions at 511, 516. So that's like a shorter term extension targets. And then if I measure it from this low, right? That's going all the way to 17th of January. And you can see, even if I did that on that low, you see that my first level of fib, right? That's the first level of fib right there. That's how we found the low here, coinciding with my midterm, right? And if I do that, and that's now looking at more like a short to midterm on the 60, then it gives you 516. So here, let's do this. Let's do the short term. That's a midterm fib, and let's do the shorter term fib. So you can see how they line up too. See how they line up with the short term, midterm. So we got 511, 516, 523. The next targets here. 511 might be the like a short term target till Friday, you know, and then maybe next maybe Monday. We see us pull back or something like that. That oscillator is not overbought. You can see we have at least another day to go. Another day to go. But even if it gets there, doesn't always mean you can see oscillator can kind of like hang around, you know, it sort of zigzag, whipsaw, but then like you see how the market grinds higher. So just because oscillator hits that overbought, especially in this market, does not always mean that, you know what I mean, it's going to come back down. Oscillator can even move sideways, what I call pancake. Right there, right? Right here. Market can stay at the top of a ceiling, flattened out, and then that the market or the price can keep grinding higher. So in a strong bull market like this, strong uptrend like this, hitting the overbought on this oscillator does not mean that's the top. It just means that sooner or later it needs to reset sooner or later, but it could stay overbought for longer here. As you can see, Q's going back up here. The oscillator not overbought yet. We still got room to move, and that's sizable up gap here. That's a sizable up gap on the Nasdaq. And remember, we have island up gap. I forgot to mention on Spider, we have an island up gap, right? Island up gap is the strongest form of for any gap. So as you can see, this up gap, see that down gap, up gap. So that's an island. So this purple box, it's representing an island. That's an island. That's an up gap. Island is very, very strong. So as you can see, even with the gap up like this, because this is an island up gap, that you can see it just keeps going higher. We're not seeing any sort of a gap up and fade. Maybe a lot of bears thought that that's what sort of happened a lot. Many times you see an island, if it's an island of gap, that's going to have continuation more often than not. Let's go to Q's here, or continue what we're talking about. So Q's gaps right up to this pivot here. right there. 434 on Qs. That's prior resistance. We break above it. Looks like that's the all-time high there on Qs. Yes. And we're just right there. Right? 438. Again, oscillator has still room to move. If I just draw a line like that, as you can see, we still got at least another day or so until you don't hit overbought. But again, it can stay overbought like this, and then it can keep going higher for 2-3 days, even after it hits overbought. Semiconductor, the entire sector, obviously the help of the NVIDIA, it's up 7%. The entire sector is up 7%. If the majority of people are thinking that, hey, this market needs a proper correction, hey, that is up too much, or everybody's waiting, if they missed out the October lows of last year, if they're just waiting for a correction to happen so they can get back in, that's one reason, right? Market want to make sure you stay out. Like you got scared during October lows, you went completely cash. And then last year, October, and then market goes up, you're waiting for a pullback, you're waiting for some kind of a reversal, bottoming pattern or signal, but market V-shaped higher since October, lows last year. So then you didn't get your signal. So then you couldn't get in. So you're like, okay, all right, market maybe is getting back to the bull market. But by the time you realize that, it was already at all-time high, and you tell yourself, well, there's no way I cannot get in at all-time high. So what do? Well, I'm going to be a prudent and smart investor. So you tell yourself, I'm going to wait for a proper correction, and market does not give it to you. And then because of that, people are starting to like FOMOing here. So any like 1 day, 2 days decline, people are buying that. And then it's like a domino effect. And then just people keep piling in because now, oh my God, because we as human beings, we hate to be left out. We are all suffering from this. We all hate to be left out. We all hate to not be invited to that party that everybody's going into. Right? You know what I'm saying? So you feel as though you start turning on TV, CNBC, and you start scrolling through your Twitter, stock tweets, and YouTube, or your stock feeds, market feeds, and you realize these markets keep going higher. You feel like everyone's getting rich, but you're the only one not being part of this, bull train. And then what happens? Well, you want to be part of it. So what do? They jump in. Any sort of little pullback, that vicious cycle continues. So we're witnessing, ladies and gentlemen, we're witnessing something we've never witnessed in the entire history of stock market. Just based on, you know what I'm saying? Based on my looking at my daily spider, micro term MA chart. That has never happened.
20 minutes later.
Look at NVIDIA here. Look at NVIDIA. Look at this chart. Oh my God, this chart aged so well. Look at this. Apple, NVIDIA. Well, that evening star reversal has been completely negated now. Completely negated because there's no what happened? What happened to the evening star? There's no more evening star. There's no more evening star, ladies and gentlemen. And the NVIDIA shenanigan fiasco continues.
My car topped out at 140 miles per hour this morning.
Amateurs don't use nitrous oxide. I've seen the way you drive. You got a heavy foot. You'll blow yourself to pieces.
Canary, I need a bite of knife.
and nobody knows where the top is, and so we're gonna continue have to give. Look at AMD following its big brother here. Look at AMD up 11%, right? And you can see Amazon's up 3%. Meta is up 4.5%. Tesla's up 1%. Microsoft 2%. Apple, Google, these guys are lagging here. But it's an incredible run. You know, it's a rare sight. I mean, you know, yeah, like something like NVIDIA, SMCI, like GameStop. Like we've seen some of these stocks do craziest things, right? And I often talk about how, you know, the laws of physics do not apply in the market. So you can't be saying, well, because the market has done this, it must do that. No, unthinkable is absolutely possible in the stock market. So like for stocks to do something like this, we've seen it before. For the indices to going vertical like this, for entire index to going vertical like this, that's definitely a rare sight. So look at this. This is a daily chart, as you can see on Spider, and I'm going to end the video with it. And that oscillator has not been fully resetted since the November low. That's early November, like November 1st. It has not gone back down to the bottom of its band. And you can see it's been at the top of its band, oscillating at the top of its band. It looks like it's trying to cross back up here. I mean, if it crosses back up there, right here, which is going to be similar, if it's going to look similar to here, then that means we could have another leg higher.
Perfect.
And with the island of gap that we're seeing today, we're above the micro term. No one knows where the top is. We must give benefit of the doubt to the buyers.